Welcome once again, viewers, to the Idea Game Changer. Idea Game Changer is an initiative of Idea Television here at Obasanjo Space Center. You know how we do it here on the Idea Game Changer? We talk about the trending topics in science, technology, entrepreneurship, and innovation. Today I have a very interesting topic that has been in the mouth of every young entrepreneur, topic that has been in the mind of people. It is quite controversial. People are saying, is this going to take over my job? Is this going to be the end? What is going to be the end product of this? How long is technology going to keep amazing us? My name is Olalik Mandela and I'm your host for the Idea Game Changer. I've brought a very interesting guest who is going to talk about AI. AI, the role of AI in nation building and the future of tech industry. What is AI? Where are we going to with AI in the next 20 years? Is something bigger than AI going to come? How is it happening? Is there some people's jobs that are going to be displaced with AI? All of those questions are going to be answered today. And I'm not alone, like I said, I have an interesting guest. Mr. David, it's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to
Hey,
be here.
he's a big man. Oh, don't try to be humble. He's a very big man, and it's a pleasure. It's a privilege to have you out of your busy schedule. You created time to come to the Idea Game Changer podcast. We do not take it for granted. So we have a couple of questions here.
Okay,
But before that, I would like to read your bio, if you don't mind.
no problem.
Mr. David Mogaji is a visionary entrepreneur and an engineer with a passion for AI, blockchain, and financial technology. Emphasis on the financial. So if you need money, make sure you watch it to the end so that you can get his contact details and bill him. As the founder of Candleweb, is the one in charge of using AI to make cryptocurrency trading simple, efficient, and profitable and user friendly. So if you don't know much about cryptocurrency, there is an AI that has been put in place, trained to help you earn money even while you are sleeping. He thrives on innovation, constantly seeking new ways to educate people and empower people, particularly in the blockchain space, with a hands-on approach and clear focus on solving real-world problems. He is driven by the belief that technology can create meaningful opportunities for financial independence and growth for Africans. It is a pleasure to have you once again. Thank you so much. So that is the bio. I want you to introduce yourself to the audience.
Oh yeah, I think you said it all. My name is David Mogaji. I'm an entrepreneur,
Sure.
right? But I think at my core, right, I would rather choose to identify myself as a software engineer.
Software engineer.
Yeah, I kind of like programming, right? So I've been programming since 2011.
Hmm.
Right? Yeah, and I've played around with a couple of programming languages, technologies, blockchain, and now AI, right? And for me, I think one of the things that would really help us here in Africa, right, would be our investment in technology, right?
Investment in
In
technology,
technology,
right?
yes.
So before I go deep into my questions, is for our viewers right now is what is AI in the most layman term? What should people expect from it? Because right now a lot of people are kind of like giving this negative approach, not because they want to, but they believe that machine cannot take my job, or machine
Mm,
cannot take the job of a writer, machine cannot take the job of a this. But we know what AI are doing. In fact, we have AI presenters, we have AI writers, we have
mhm,
AI speaker. You can have AI to translate a whole paragraph of sentence for you. So
mhm,
we are gotten to that moment where AI, or let me say technology, is taking most of the hard work humans
mhm,
did back then.
mhm.
Technology and AI is already taking over, making work easier, but at the same time, displacing some roles unconventionally. So, what is AI, and what should people expect from using AI?
Yeah, I think to say what AI is, I try as much as possible, right, to not bore people with the jargons, right? So I think AI basically at its core is basically machines being able to make decisions, just like the way, for example, while you were coming here, you decided on what to eat, what to wear, and all of that, right? So it's just the ability of machines being able to make human decisions, right, based on data, right?
Right.
Based on data. Then about job displacements, right? I think that's one of the things that people discuss the
Mm,
most, right? Everybody's bothered about
mm.
losing their jobs.
Right.
But I think just the same way when computers came about, right? A lot of people were worried, right, that they were going to lose their jobs and all of that. But what we've seen is as much as some jobs kind of went extinct, right? We had new
Yeah,
roles,
right.
right?
Because because 10 years ago there was nothing like AI per se.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And now look at it with the whole computer age and everything. You have people that are graphic designers. You have people um, that are motion designers.
Yeah,
You have
AutoCAD,
AutoCAD, all of those stuff.
animation, all of those
Exactly.
things.
You still have people like front end developers, back end engineers. You have DevOps. You have different roles, right?
Yes.
So as much as a lot of jobs were kind
We're
of
going into
we're going
extinction. New
into
ones are
extinction,
coming in.
new ones are coming in. So I think that's the same thing we're going to see with AI, right? So for me, I think instead of people to be scared of the technology, right, and then
They
feel
should.
like it's not going to be able to replace them, they should learn about the technology, right? Let's say, for example, if I'm a writer now, right, I could look at, okay, how can I use AI, right, to improve my writing, right? So, for example, if
Based on existing data that you
exactly,
mentioned.
exactly. So if I want to write an article now, instead of me having to think so much about the entire stuff, I could easily tell, let's say I'm using ChatGPT, right? I
Okay.
could easily tell ChatGPT, okay, this is what I want to write about. This is my line of thought, right? Help me write a draft.
But if you are using ChatGPT to write
Mhm,
as a writer,
mhm,
doesn't it reduce the flow of creativity? Because
mhm,
I was once a copywriter
mhm,
and we had to write everything from scratch.
mhm,
So sometimes I can even be going on the road and I'll just see signboard and say, oh, this thing is captivating. Let me write it down
mhm,
for like something like a test shot for my next writing. But
mhm.
if I'm asking ChatGPT to write all of those things for me, don't you think it reduces my own place of independent thinking? Doesn't it make me
Yes.
rely on a machine to get what I want?
Well, I wouldn't lie, right? There is room that this technology can actually make you lazy, so to say, right? But it depends on use, right?
Okay.
Like if you have what I said earlier, I said you create a draft. So your draft is not your final copy, right? So let me use the same example you gave, right? So you're moving along a road, and then you see, let's say, a signpost or something, and then it's you have that flash of creativity or spark of creativity rather, right? And then you want to write about it. You're thinking about it and all of that. Now it's possible that if you don't have a pen and paper with you there, or you don't write it on your phone, you most likely forget,
Right.
right?
Very
But
correct.
you can use something like ChatGPT or maybe Gemini, right? Let's say they have like the voice interaction now, right? And you just tell it that, okay, this is what I saw, this is what I'm thinking about. What do you think I can make out of this? What is your own thought on this?
Mm,
It's like you're having a conversation with a
with
fellow colleague.
with a fellow copywriter.
Yes,
But you
exactly.
are the one in charge, you know.
Exactly. You're the one in charge, right? And then since you're currently on the move, you could easily have several conversations with it. And it can even write out drafts for you that you can actually listen to on the go, which can even improve your own creativity kind of, right, like building ideas upon ideas and all of that. So for me, I don't think it's about machines replacing people. I think it's about people being able to use machines to be able to improve their own skills and creativity and productivity at the end of the day.
Smartness. So you were saying, you mentioned something. I didn't want to cut you. I didn't wanted to interrupt you.
Yeah.
You mentioned something about there are some jobs or there are some things that were not around that
Mm-hmm.
were around now. For example, we mentioned AI, motion graphics, AutoCAD.
Mm-hmm.
20 years, 30 years, they
Mm-hmm.
might be around, but they are not as conversant as we have them now.
Very true.
So, do you think that in years to come that AI might be displaced or advanced to something
Mm-hmm.
which is unknown yet with the way technology is moving? Because I'm very sure 40 years ago, the people that write our stories in newspaper 40 years, 50 years ago never thought that that would be a machine or that would be a technology that will
Mm-hmm.
write a full story for you based on prompts that you give them.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that in the future AI can be displaced with an advanced technology and the world should get ready for it, or what is your thought on that?
Yeah, I think for now we're just seeing the beginning of this technology. AI is not new. It's actually been around for a very long time. I
For
think,
even
yeah, I think since the 1970s or thereabouts. Yeah,
whoa.
it's been around. I think started with the perceptrons and the rest of them. But the thing is, most of this technology has been used mostly by scientists, mathematicians, right? They're just experimenting, right? It's just recently with the advancements in deep networks and all of that, right? And neural nets, right? That this whole thing became very, very more popular. And then thanks to companies like OpenAI, right, with ChatGPT, that made it even made much more mainstream,
Right.
right? That, but when it comes to AI evolving, I think AI is going to evolve into a lot of things, right?
Hmm.
So currently, most of the AIs we have out there are basically narrow and context AI, right? But a lot of people are talking about AGI, that's artificial general intelligence, right?
Okay.
Something that is capable of um, being as good as not just one human professor, but
Right.
several,
Wow.
right? So the idea is going to be smarter than most human being, all humans. So it's going to be like a super intelligence. So imagine it like a digital god, kind of, right?
Kai.
Yeah.
I'm already scared watching this. So does that mean that regardless of but my question based on this DGI or what
AGI,
AGI that you mentioned,
yeah,
artificial
general intelligence.
general intelligence, based on these things that are you trying to say that they are going to be like a go-to platform to see what is right or what is fact and what is not fact?
Mm. Oh.
Because why I'm asking these questions is we know the kind of world we live in. We know
Mhm.
humans, regardless of how we call this thing AGI.
Mhm.
Someone is operating it. Someone
Mhm.
is in charge.
Mhm.
Someone is in charge of the displacement and what it brings out to the audience. Someone is at the back of programming these things.
Mhm.
So don't you think we are already moving towards the world where we are giving power to someone behind this AGI?
Mm. Mm.
I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I do. I do. I think what you're talking about is where things like regulations and policies come in,
Hmm.
right? So for me, I believe that every government should start looking into the regulations and policies to be put
Hmm.
in place because
Hmm.
of this. Because for me personally, I believe no technology is bad, but the way it's used can make it look bad.
Right. Very
Right?
correct. Very
So there are
correct.
people who learn programming because of the fact that they want to create softwares that can help people. There are people who learn programming because of the fact that they want to hack this or hack that and steal funds and all of that, right? So it's
Right.
usage, right? So for me, I believe governments bodies need to start putting up regulations, discussing with experts in the field,
Yeah.
right, for them to be able to come up with a policy that most of these
Don't do this.
companies,
Don't do
yeah, would
this.
have to follow,
So that they
right?
won't abuse that thing.
Exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. Because this is a technology that is possible of being biased,
Yes.
right?
Very
Yeah,
correct.
it's possible because a lot of research have shown that for people that are using for HR purposes, right, they've noticed that there's a lot of bias when it comes to the amount of women, right, that get employed over the amount of men, right? It's most AIs kind of favor the men the most, right?
Hmm.
And then again, I mean, it's data, right? Just the same way some AI systems don't really favor people of color, right? It's still the data, right? So a lot of all these things. So for me, I just believe that the government needs to step in, right, and have policies and regulations around these things, especially to protect Africans.
All right. So let's talk about Candleweb. You are
Okay.
the founder and CEO of Candleweb.
Mhm.
So when I was checking through candleweb.io, just for information sake, he is the founder, Candleweb. If you want to improve your cryptocurrency trading, you can always meet with Mr. David. You are in safe hands. So moving forward,
Mhm.
Candleweb uses AI to help people gain passive income
Mhm.
through trading and
Mhm.
cryptocurrency. I wanted to ask, you're a programmer,
Mhm.
so how does this thing actually work? Because and they
Mm.
don't know that it is always based off on existing data. So I
True.
want you to talk on that and put emphasis on that. Talking using Candleweb as a case study and
Mhm.
talking about generally how AI judge things.
All right. So first off, as I mentioned, AI basically is just a machine making decisions
Right.
based off data that it
Okay.
has been trained on and the data that it's receiving, right? Now, for Candleweb, what we do at Candleweb basically is very simple, right? We use AI, that's artificial intelligence, to make crypto trading simple and profitable for Africans, right? And the way this is done is we actually built AI systems that automated the entire trading process, right? So for you to be able to trade cryptocurrency or stocks or all of those, right, there's certain things that you need to be conversant about. There are certain things you need to be knowledgeable about, right? You need to, depending on how you choose to trade, right? But there are certain key analysis that you need to put into consideration.
Okay.
Things like sentimental analysis, um, technical analysis, right? And then fundamental analysis as well. So these are things that, all these things are basically data.
See me nodding my head, not like I really know, but continue.
Right. All of these things are data, right?
Okay.
And your ability to be able to go through this data, understand what it's saying, right? For you to know if, okay, yes, is there an opportunity,
Right.
right? For you
Right.
to be able to enter a market or for you to exit the market, right?
Right.
Which is for you to be able to make profits, right? These are things you have to be able to do, right? But where that's as a human being, but where machines are able to do this much more better is because of the fact that it's easier for a machine to make such kind of computation or calculations, right? It's just, for example, if I ask you what is 1 billion times 128, it's
1
probably
billion, that's 128 billion.
right.
Yes.
But if I change that number now to something like, let's say 182 million times 125, it takes you a while,
Yes, it
right?
does.
But it is something that with a computer system, it's is that
Straight
fast,
up. Okay.
right? Is that fast? So because of that, these computers are able to analyze data way more faster than human beings, right? Now, if it's a machine now like AI that's capable of making decisions,
Right.
right? It's able to analyze that data quickly and then make decision off of that, right? And then you talked about if people think about AI, they just think it's just all positive. It's not always all positive, right? If you look at the likes of LLMs, that's large language models, which is what ChatGPT is, you would see that a lot of time they have all this, they call it hallucinations, right? Whereby they come up with information that they give to the user, right? And they express this information as facts. Meanwhile, they are not actually facts.
Fine.
They are not.
Alternative fact.
Yeah, you could you could call it that, right? They are not exactly facts, right? So if you're someone who don't exactly have domain knowledge about what you have, the conversation you have with the LLM, you'll be misled, right? Which is where the idea of humans working harmoniously with AI systems comes into play, right? Whereby, like, sometimes there have been times that I am using ChatGPT, for example, right? And then I ask it the question, and then it tells me something, right? Maybe I'm programming, and let's say I sent it the code, right? So, okay, check this code for me. There are times that it says certain things, and then it returns it to me. But because of the fact that, okay, I'm a programmer, I understand this stuff, I'll be like, this is wrong. If you give me this code, this will produce this. This is not what I told you to do. That's when I'll be like, okay, yes, you're correct. So imagine if I had no knowledge, I would have just taken that code or whatever and just dump it there.
So, from what you said now is that before you even use the AI, you must have knowledge of what you want to use the AI for.
Yes, it pays. Not that you necessarily, right, but it pays for you to have some knowledge about what you're trying to do, right? Which is where
Because it's still always be a machine.
exactly. So until AI has gotten to that level where it doesn't hallucinate anymore, or this companies have been able to fight things like hallucinations, right? It's always best that there is a human supervisor, right? Which brings me back to Candleweb, right? So for Candleweb, I always tell a lot of our customers, right? I was discussing one on my way here, and where she was telling me about how she wants to trade, that how much can she make in a day, and all of that,
Not tell her that
right?
it's investment.
Right. So I told her that the thing is this, right? A lot of people think trading, whether cryptocurrency or the stock market, right, or forex, they think it's the absence of losses, but that is wrong,
Okay.
right? Trading is not the absence of losses, right? It's the presence of losses, right, while ensuring that your profit is more than your losses. So that is what makes you a profitable trader. When your profit is more than your
It's not that
losses,
you're not going to lose,
not that you're not going
but
to
what you are
lose.
going to gain is going to be more than what you lose.
Exactly, right? So for that now, right, and around the idea of hallucination, right, at Candleweb, we still have the human factor, right? We have in-house analysts that supervise these AIs, that monitor them to see
Right.
what they are doing, right? And then when they are hallucinating, right, or they're throwing out wrong facts, our analysts, human analysts, can fact check these things and be able to still make sure that this AI is able to make optimal decisions, right, to make sure that our users are profitable. right? So
Wow.
generally, I believe it's humans working with AI, not AI eliminating humans.
Okay. So
Generally.
now AI is the adoption of AI in Nigeria now is not so great.
Mm.
We still want to go through the orthodox way. Still
Mm-hmm.
want to go through the, I won't say it's the conventional way because the world has really moved past what we consider normal here.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think are the opportunities Nigeria will find if they adopt AI?
Mm-hmm.
And what are the challenges you think Nigeria as a country or Africa as a continent is facing in
Mm-hmm.
adoption of AI?
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest issue that Africa, using Nigeria as an example,
Yes.
why a lot of people are not adopting AI is the limited education around it. Yeah,
Mm.
limited education. So very few people know about it, right? Very few people know about it.
I don't even think they talk about it in universities these days.
Oh yes, oh yes. They don't exactly talk about it, right? So for me, I believe that if we're going to tackle the issue of adoption, right, it's something we need to build into our school curriculums, right? Starting from as I think let's say something like primary three,
Oh,
right? From primary
wow.
school, primary three, primary four, or at most, let's say just one. That's junior secondary, right? They should start teaching people about AI because this is a technology that would change the way we do things as a society, not just in Africa but around the world.
I think some companies are already making move about that. Before they onboard their staff,
Mm-hmm,
they make them go through some trainings, AI training,
mm-hmm,
LinkedIn optimization,
mm-hmm,
branding, and all of those things.
mm-hmm,
So I get where you're coming from.
mm-hmm. We just need to educate the populace, especially the youths, right? Especially the youths, because they are the ones who would be impacted the most by
Right.
this, right? One of the things we're looking at doing at Candleweb is for us to start educating youths through um, National Youth Service, that's NYSC, right?
Right.
Yes, we're trying to
That's
see how we can educate them because those are the people who are going into the labor markets, right? And I mean, being in the labor market is not the easiest, right? You face a lot of challenges.
it's not.
I have a friend who got a job as a data analyst, right, with some company abroad. Before he could get this, he had to send about 300 applications.
300.
Yeah, 300 applications before he could get his first job. And the first job he even got was as an intern, right?
Intern.
As an intern,
Whoa.
right? And now, if you look at what's happening around the world, especially abroad, you see that a lot of companies are looking at having lean teams in startup world. They call it lean teams, where you have a big company like Google, right? And they have very few number of staff. I think companies like Telegram is practicing that lean team. I think Telegram don't have more than 30 staff.
How?
Exactly, right? And AI is going to kind of make it kind of worse because with AI now you can automate a whole
A
lot
lot
of
of
processes,
work.
right? So it's best for African youths for them to be knowledgeable about this technology, right? Understand how they can use it to their own advantage so that when they are applying for jobs abroad, right, or even locally,
They will leverage that.
yes, they'll leverage their knowledge that, okay, yes, I know about this, I can do this, I can do that.
Hmm.
Because most of these people, what they are looking at is what you can do. The world have moved past
What
papers,
is your certificate?
qualification.
What can you
Yeah,
do?
what can
What
you
are the
do?
results you can produce?
Exactly. Right. So that's what most people are concerned about now. What can you do? Especially
Mm,
when it comes to roles that have to do with technological spaces or job roles,
right.
right? It's what can you do over certification and all of that.
So opportunities is Nigerian can leverage this AI to get a better chance in the labor market, and
Hmm.
the challenges is lack of education is one of is bringing
Hmm.
Nigerian down. So you use AI as one of your main source of income, if I can
Hmm.
put it that way.
Hmm.
So what can you say are the job opportunities if I am a graduate, if
Hmm.
I'm a graduate today
Hmm.
and I want to leverage AI? I don't know
Hmm.
anything about AI, but I love the sound. I want to leverage on it. What are the best thing I can do? What are the things I can look out for? What are the things I can start looking, start checking out to say I want to leverage on this. I want to start this.
Okay. So I think it's quite easy, right? People think it's complicated, but
Mm,
it's not.
I thought
It's
it's
not.
complicated.
Yeah. A lot of people always think AI tools because of the whole idea of AI to be very complicated. You
Hmm.
have to like it's like rocket science, but that's not the case, right? So I would answer your question with an example,
Sure,
right?
please.
So I can't remember this guy's name, but I think he's Indian or something. He
Okay.
wrote a book. Is it Barbie and the Robot or something?
Hmm.
Right? Now, this dude wrote this book completely including the cover page and everything, using AI.
Artificial intelligence to write
Yes,
their own book.
I think he used ChatGPT for the content, right, of
Okay.
the book, right, and then for the cover page and graphics within the book. It's a children's book, right, and then for the graphics and all of those things that were used, he used all those AI systems that generate images like Midjourney, and this guy was able to make $23,000 from this book. Yes,
$23,000.
he didn't spend any money on printing. He didn't spend any money on getting a copywriter. He didn't spend any money on getting a graphic designer. Nothing.
Just write the book and upload it on Amazon or
I think it was Amazon KDB he uploaded it to. I think it was all this KDB, right? And then he made about $23,000. A lot of people were buying those
that's a
books.
lot of money.
Exactly, right? That's an example of that. Look at another one that has kind of broken the internet recently. I don't know if you heard about Truth Terminal on Twitter.
Tell me about it.
Truth Terminal. So this is a guy who got a bunch of LLMs. Let's say LLMs is that's large language models. They are the fundamental technology under technologies like ChatGPT, for example, right? So imagine a bunch of ChatGPTs. You just put them in one place and then they just get chatting and talking, right? And that's how these LLMs are able to like form a sort of religion of some sort, right? In
It's
cryptocurrency,
going to be like a tribe.
more like it, right? And then from that, they started talking about a meme culture that existed, I think, in the early years of the internet, I think around 2000 or thereabouts. And then from there, I think maybe it was the person who created these LLMs that created an account on Twitter and give the AI free access to it. The AI went on Twitter and started talking about um, a meme coin and how it wants to break free and whatever. Then there's this guy, I can't remember his name, who gave the LLM, that's the AI now, some money. I think about between $100 to $500,000 or so. And then there's this coin, I think it's Good C Maximus or something that launched, right? And then this MMM kind of these LLMs rather kind of invested in that coin. Now, so far so good. The money that particular AI has grown in millions. In fact, it is being said now that that's the first AI millionaire ever, right? So there are a lot of ways people can take
So
advantage
AI
of,
has more money than me like this. This is not fair.
right? So I think it just pays to understand these things, right? You can leverage things like Candleweb, for example, right? So you want to make money and all of that, you can easily go through the access of crypto trading. And okay, you don't have knowledge about trading crypto, right?
There are
What's-
even experts on Candleweb that can help you.
Exactly, right? The next thing you can do is you can put your money in Candleweb and our AI will trade for you, right? You're not conducting any form of analysis. Yours is just to sit back, right? Every day you just check your accounts.
Emphasis on sleep while you're making money.
Oh yeah. Recently I was chatting with one of our customers. That was early this morning while I was at home, I think before I showered. And the guy started because we started a promo, right, where you can use $100, right? Our minimum normally is $200. That's what our AI would trade for you. But we started a promo where you can use $100. This guy started trading with us on today's Friday. He started trading with us on Wednesday. And currently, as I'm speaking with you, the guy already is on profit of about $6.
Where's my next salary? So I will
Right?
just, I will just put
Right?
it in
And he
Candleweb.
was like, he's going to be referring his friend by Sunday and all of that, right? Because he's a pharmacist, right? And he's very busy. Like he is very, very busy. He barely even have the time to even check his phone. Sometimes
Wow.
I'm the one that asks him, okay, like this morning I was the one that
Have
had
you
to chat
checked
him
your
up. Yeah, have you
dashboard?
checked your dashboard? How is it looking? What do you think about the experience? Because we're concerned about getting user feedback and all of that. And then he showed me his wallet and all of that. He's just
He's a
excited.
big man.
Yeah,
You
he's
should
just
carry me to
excited.
Hebrew Fisher.
He's excited. So yeah.
That's very nice. I think AI is one of the things that I personally I always feel like any job can be displaced with the way things are going. The only thing I feel cannot be displaced are things that has to do with practical things. For example, something like a teacher. A human teacher will always be different. A teacher, someone like a speaker, someone like actor, someone like a coach. I feel like all of these people might, who knows, anything can happen with the way technology, but at the moment I don't think they can be displaced because this one's has to do with humanly kind of work, psychologist. It has to do with mind work. I mean, I can't see a drug addict now. She put it in front of AI. That please, oh, make this person sober. I don't think AI can really do a good. AI can do the job, but it won't do the great job like a psychologist. We sit down and take track with you. Oh, you are doing this right. You are doing this wrong. So I love AI, but I just feel like with the way the world is going, I think like people add to their tentacles. People add to the existing skills they have. If you're a teacher, if you're a videographer, you should know that ordinary carrying the camera is not enough. We have AI now that you don't need to be panning. Sam, you don't need to be panning up and down. You just there is AI. For example, now Sam is here. Sam understands some of these AI cameras that will just go along as you're talking. All of these things, like you mentioned, there is always be a need for a human supervision too. So I completely feel what you're talking about. So if you are going to tell any Nigerian out now, what is your advice to them about AI? Should they leave what they are doing and go and pursue AI, or or what
Okay.
is your take on that?
Yeah. I think I'll start with what you mentioned first about certain roles that can't be displaced or
Or better still, you can
eliminated.
just tell us the initiative or strategies they can imbibe
Mm-hmm.
to improve AI in their daily livings.
Nice. Well, uh, for me, I don't think they should leave their jobs, right? I think it's something that they could do while they're still working, right? They can easily just take a course, very simple course on AI, right? You don't have to take anything very serious, right? Sometimes 3, 4, 5 videos on YouTube, right, is good,
It's good.
depending on how technical you want to get, right, around the technology. But having a fundamental knowledge around the technology is very, very, very crucial, right? So, for example, if you're a teacher, for example, you mentioned teachers not being replaced by AI, right? So, for example, if you're a teacher, instead of you feeling like you wouldn't be replaced, I think it's best to start looking at AI learning platforms like the one this guy's built, Khan Academy. I think they call it Camigo,
Okay.
right?
What does
Whereby,
that do?
yeah, it's an AI learning platform whereby teachers can be able to utilize AI to be able to provide much more personalized learning to students, right? And what do I mean by that? If you have a class of 20 students, everybody there have their weaknesses and strengths, right? The way each person learns
The way
is
they
different.
conceive knowledge,
Yes,
yeah,
it's
is
different from the
different.
other person, right? Some persons want they are the kind of persons whereby you teach them something, they want to question it, they want to take their own routes, right? But as a teacher, teaching is stressful, right?
It is
Yeah,
very, very.
teaching is stressful. So as a teacher who is probably maybe you're already stressed and then you have 20 students and this one is here, auntie, this question, this one, right? At some point you might just be like, just copy what I have on the board.
No
Right?
disturb me. I don't
Yeah,
tire.
right. But with AI now, you can be able to provide much more personalized teaching to the students. There was one that I think was the CEO of Khan Academy that was talking about an example. I think it was with his daughter or something, right, or someone else. That the child was, I've forgotten the subject they were talking about, right? And then the AI said something about a particular concept around that subject, right? But then the child said something entirely different,
Mm,
right? Now, as I said, a teacher with 20 students would not be able to pay particular attention to you to follow your own
because you are not
train
the only
of
one here.
exactly, right? But as this child had this line of thought, instead of the AI to kind of move along from that question or just just say whatever, the AI was like, okay, I would like to know why you think like this.
Okay.
After the child expressed her own opinion on this, the AI was like, okay, yes, I get your line of thoughts. However, this is how it's done. These are your own concepts that you talked about. This is how it's applicable to this, but this is actually the standard that is being followed to solve this problem.
The child was actually asking a harmless question.
Exactly. Right. I think I remember one time when I was in, I think that was primary four or so. Right. And then they gave us a mass assignment, a mass quiz, and then we're solving it. I think the final, if memory serves me correctly, I think the final answer was 23. Right. Now I came up with the final answer, 23.
So what happened?
Right. A lot of other people did. Then when this child looked at my work, she was like, "No, you got it wrong." Right? Because of what? My formula, my approach to solving the problem.
Okay.
And I was like, well, auntie, I got the answer correctly.
Yeah, I followed the formula. I didn't follow.
Do you
I got
understand?
the
I
answer.
got the answer correctly. You get me? She was like, no, 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 you have to follow. I say, why? She didn't answer me. She was like, David, just move. Let me answer someone else.
Wow.
because we're many.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But if it was
Yeah.
an AI now, an AI would have probably said, okay, explain my own concepts to me and
Mm,
probably tell me why my concept is wrong. Or we can even put like put minds together to see
mm,
if okay, if I'm given another problem and I use the same approach I used in solving my own problem,
mm.
if it's still going to give me the right answer. That way I understand if my own concept works or it doesn't. Right. So for me, I feel people in different sectors, right, walks of life should see how they can get educated about these things and see how they can adopt it in their day-to-day lives because it's
So
here to stay.
it's not going anywhere. So
Yeah.
if there is any platform for people to learn about this, yeah, apart from YouTube,
Hmm.
now you were mentioned Gemini.ai, apart
Hmm.
from ChatGPT and maybe Opus, which I use for maybe video short form content
Hmm.
editing and all of those things. I don't think I use Adobe AI with audio enhancer.
Okay.
I use all of those things. But apart from those regular ones, I don't think there is anyone
Hmm.
I've known per
Hmm.
se. And there are a lot of them. In fact, I even hear that there is AI that can make you look like you like make a old picture look like a brand new, make a
Hmm.
old picture talk,
Hmm.
make a slide for you, like a Google slide. A
Hmm.
lot of them. So do we have like a website or do we have like a platform where we can get all of these things? And my final question, that's the first one. And my final question is, um, you use AI in your
Hmm.
business as an
Hmm.
entrepreneur. Are there some policies put in place that is actually affecting your business as an entrepreneur that you feel like government need to do something about this policy or do something about this regulation that they put in place?
Hmm.
So how were you able to manage that, and what do you think government should do so that people that want to dive into something like this to maybe use AI in their business,
Hmm.
or they want to start a techpreneur journey using AI, that government policy will not be an hinder for them to thrive? So what is your take on that?
All right. So please repeat
The
the
first
first
one,
question.
okay, the first question was, is there any platform where people can access
Okay,
all
this
of this
information.
and AI
Okay.
information?
Yeah, I think for the resources, I think it's as easy as Googling it,
Okay.
right? So it's not like I don't know if there's any, but I don't think there's this single website where you go down there and you see all the AI tools that exist, right?
Okay,
Even if
so
you should do if there's one
I'll just go to Google and just type Google write how to write Google slide with AI, and it's going to bring the
simple,
relevant
exactly. You can write AI for creating Google Slides, AI for creating presentation, right? You can write
lexicon.
AI for image generation, AI for video generation,
Mm,
right? And
mm.
you see different options, right? I think now these days you'd even see many, right?
Wow.
So it's just for you to choose the
Which
one you
one
want to
works
use,
best for you?
right? Yes, but it's just easy. You just Google it and then you'll get it. Then for
For
when
the
it comes to
policies.
learning, yeah, then when it comes to the aspect of learning, I think there are some places you can start from. I think platforms like Coursera have some kind of fundamental courses that anyone can take, right? I think even Google offers some for free, right? Offer some for free. I think I remember in 2021 or thereabout, I took one like that Google
In
had in
Google.
yeah that Google had in partnership with University of Helsinki, Finland, right? Which is an amazing course, right? It was a very amazing course. Zero code, you're not writing code and all of that, but it will be able to get you to understand how this technology really works, the mathematics
Hmm.
behind it, and all of that. And then when it comes to policies and other things that the government can do to help the development of AI, I think governments need to start having conversation or laying the groundwork to have physical infrastructures where both private companies, right, and government-based institutions can be able to carry out research, right?
Research.
Yes, where they can be able to carry out research because a lot of the infrastructures that is there now is if you're not a big company,
You
right,
can
you
access
can't
them.
access them, right? Like for example, ChatGPT. If you know the amount of money that it takes to keep ChatGPT online every day, you'd be you'd be
Hmm.
wowed,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? That's like
And
the
it is available freely for everyone.
right. So that's the thing. So I think government needs to provide more funding, right? It goes beyond just funding startups, right? It goes
Hmm.
beyond just funding
Seeing that they
startups.
thrive.
Yes, it goes beyond just funding startups. Having the underlying infrastructure, right, where startups can be able to carry out research, institutions can be able to carry out research,
Hmm.
right, whereby they can test around, play around with all these LLMs, right? Be creative, come up with their own approaches to be
Hmm.
able to achieve AGI, right? Even carry out research on even how to combat AGI. I think
The
that's
artificial general
yes. I
intelligence.
think I think that's one thing that Africa especially should pay critical attention to,
Sincerely, because
right?
when you mentioned AGI,
Mm-hmm.
artificial general intelligence, is it Africa that they are scared of the regular AI?
Mm-hmm.
AGI will come now, and AGI will tell you that this is GAM, this is the fact, or everything you are learning is nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be a battle? And you can't be battling with inanimate thing. I mean,
Exactly.
so I understand what you are saying that Africa should take note of that part.
Yeah, yeah. And when I say combating AGI, I don't mean just combating the technology, right? I mean there's a lot of people
Understanding it and using
understanding
it
it.
for your own good.
Yes, but then again, also being prepared for. I mean, if you check right from a lot of movies from iRobot, Terminator 1, 2, 3, like that, you will
I
see,
robot.
yeah, you will see there's this prophecy of doomsday where
Mm.
AI goes rogue, right? It goes crazy and then it start ruining a lot of things, right? So I think Africa needs to um, have a plan, right? Maybe start building some infrastructures whereby, if at all, AI should go rogue, right? And then it's kind of goes against Africans' interests, right? They can find a way to limit the kind of ruin that this technology can cause,
Love that. I
right?
love that. Love that.
So that's another
Africa should be
thing.
prepared. Hmm. Because something happened of recent from what you mentioned.
Hmm.
So I don't know if you are very conversant on Instagram.
Hmm.
African Stream
Hmm.
was pulled down by Meta.
Hmm.
And excuses Meta gave was that African Stream were propagating Russian whatever. And
Hmm.
you know how US and Russia are just loggerheads.
Hmm.
And African was just trying to be African,
Hmm.
telling African stories. US, what you do to us is not right, though. And we are putting it out to the public that this is what you do that is not right. I
Hmm.
think it doesn't really align with them,
Hmm.
even though it's the right thing, and they
Hmm.
pull it down.
Hmm.
I feel like what you just said, if Africa has put enough infrastructure in place, maybe having our own even social media platform,
True.
maybe it will have been easier and no country will be able to shut up Africa when
Hmm.
Africa is trying to say the truth. So let's
Hmm.
take, for example, now that we have this AI and the AI is trying to do something that does not align with African values, and we are trying to stand up for ourselves.
Hmm.
And you, as are saying, because you stand up for yourself, we have to shut you up. I think Africa needs to put something in place that will replace this thing when they are no more,
Hmm.
or when they are trying to do too much. So that's I really love that. Thank you very much. That is a lot. So we are wrapping up. I don't want to bore you with a lot of questions, but before then, I want you
Problem.
to introduce yourself again. Tell us about Candleweb. Tell us about what you do, and tell us about what people should prepare about AI.
All right, yeah. So, once again, my name is David Mogaji, all right? I'm the CEO and founder of Candleweb. And what we do at Candleweb is basically we use AI to automate the entire trading process for our users, right? In a way that is simple and profitable, right? So, one of the things we've noticed in the past is a lot of people want to make money into through crypto. A lot of people want to get into the industry. They want to trade. They want to they want to stake. They want to do whatever, right? But the issue has always been the issue of knowledge,
How?
right? Exactly how. And some of them, when you even show them how, like I personally, in the past, I've had a lot of people that they say, okay, they want to trade, and I'm like, okay, I wouldn't be able to make out time to teach you because I'm very busy, but I can give you resources. I give some of these people resources, right? A month, 2 months later, I'm like, what's up? They'll be like, ah, bros, I've been no get time more, right?
Right.
All of that. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to build a system, or we've built a system. We're still improving it. We built a system whereby it eliminates the need for that concrete knowledge about the technology, right? So you don't need to understand how to trade cryptocurrency fully. You don't really need to understand cryptocurrency fully, right? All you have to do is first just understand some basic things. What is crypto? What is a coin? What is a wallet? What is an exchange? Right? With this fundamental knowledge, right, you can be able to um, use our platform and make profits, right?
Hmm.
So a lot of our users, this is their first interaction with crypto. Like prior to now, they've stayed away from it, right? One was like, I'm on me, the last time I do and I read, I was like, okay, what happened the last time? Say one of my friends said, make I buy one coin.
Mm.
Right. And then when he told me the coin and we had a discussion, he understood, I made him understand why he had that loss. Right? Because one of the things that we take very, very seriously at Candleweb, right, is risk management. Right? So before our AI even makes a trade or takes a trade on behalf of a user, right, the risk for that particular trade has already been analyzed, right? For us to be able to know that, okay, is this something that works with our investment policy or not, and all of that, right? So for
Right.
us, basically, it's about helping Africans achieve financial freedom through AI.
That's beautiful. And the last question of what the world should be expecting about AI.
Well, I think for that one, I have a lot to say, right? I
Just keep it
have,
short.
yeah, I have a lot to say. I think we're only going to see AI advance over time, right? I think the only thing that can halt the improvement or advancement of AI is human extinction, which is not going to happen anytime soon,
Ah,
right? Yeah, which is not
wow.
going to happen anytime soon. So I think we're going to see AGI, we're going to see artificial general super intelligence as well. And I think one other technology that I think a lot of people are focusing on AI, but I think one thing people to look at is the idea of neural link. That's things around computer human interfaces, right? So I think over time we're going to be seeing humans connected to a artificial intelligence, connected to these machines, right? When I mean connected, I don't mean you using your phone. I mean like you and AI being one, right? Whereby humanity kind of moved from being humans to a kind of new species, right? The way we move from Neanderthals and all of those, right? We become like a new species whereby we're infused with AI, right? We're one with AI. Because I mean, when it comes to things around knowledge, right? A lot of neuroscientists will tell you that the idea of knowledge is basically has to do with your neural paths, right? Neural pathways,
Yeah.
whereby the more you read and all of that, the more your neural pathways expand. So now imagine a human being now being able to be connected to an AI system that help them to be able to increase their neural pathways, whereby you want to say something, think of something like let's say how to create an app, right? And then just by thinking about it, you already have an AI agent or an AI system that is a part of you. That you're just thinking about that, it looks like it's your original idea, but it's the AI that's giving you those information instantly. And everybody in the world becomes like an Einstein, right? Or whatever, right?
Hey.
And I think beyond
So
that,
the
but I think beyond that, I think another phase that humanity might go through the advancement of AI is when it comes to brain upload. Yeah, brain upload, where humans would be able to human consciousness. Although we're still trying to understand what consciousness is, right? Where human consciousness will be able to be represented in a digital form and be uploaded.
so something like abstract things like feelings.
Yes, aside from even feelings, right now there's a company, I can't remember their name, that has currently worked on a technology whereby through AI, right, you can actually have a digital scent of something. So imagine I can send you a picture on your phone or whatever device,
And you can
right,
smell
and
it.
you can produce the scent of that flower that I've sent to you, right?
How?
Exactly. So I think it's just going to be one advancement to the
To
other,
another.
right? And it's not just this thing is not just happening in AI.
Something is telling me that with time, I will just be making video call and the person will just come out, sit down with me, talk, and enter back.
Oh yeah. Oh
Maybe it will
yeah.
just be like an hologram or something.
It could be augmented reality, right? It could be
Kai.
augmented reality, it could be
Uh,
virtual reality, it could be any of those things, right? And as I said, it's not just AI. There are different industries, right? Look at things like DNA storage that people are talking about, where you can store information in DNA. So imagine storing information in a tree, right? Talking about things like biotechnology, right?
I know of
Biotechnology
that.
now, where you can kind of literally modify the way you look, right? Look at things like CRISPR, what they are already doing, right? I mean, there's this stuff that happened, I think, in 2011, right? Where this doctor kind of had this kind of operation whereby they had three people that came together to make a single baby, two women and one man, right? That's biotechnology. So we're going to be seeing a lot of stuff in the future. It's not just AI; it's happening all over. It's just that the issue with AI is that
AI is the
AI is
loud
like,
one.
yeah, it's the loud one, and it's more like electricity. It's a general purpose technology, right? The way you can use electricity for whatever is the same thing that we're going to be seeing with artificial intelligence.
Wow, that's amazing. Right, ladies and gentlemen, and you listen from Mr. David Mogaji about AI. AI is here to stay, and the earlier we embrace it, the better for us. Don't be scared of it. Try to gain skills, try to get AI skills with what you are learning at the moment, because this thing is here to stay, and there's nothing we can do. So, thank you so much, Mr. David, for sparing your time to talk about AI. I personally have learned a lot. I learned about the generative
General intelligence.
general intelligence.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to that, because it's going to be like the Einstein we run to when we are confused about anything. So thank you very much. Once again, this is the Idea Game Changer, and it is a initiative of Idea Television here at Obasanjo Space Center, FCT, Abuja. Thank you for joining us. If you'd like to contact our resource person, or you'd like to contact the Idea TV, do it to send the message to the number on the social media and displayed on the screen, or you can follow us across all social media platforms as Idea TV, Idea Television across all social media platforms, or shoot us a mail at ideatelevision@gmail.com or the Idea Game Changer podcast at gmail.com, and we do it to answer you. So we meet again next time in My Opinion podcast here at the Idea Game Changer podcast. My name is Olalik Mandela. Till we meet again, please have a wonderful day. Lessons, from thought-provoking conversations to candid opinions, everything you need to know is here at your fingertip.
Catch us live on YouTube or any of your favorite podcast platforms by simply searching The Idea Game Changer. There you find us anytime, anywhere. The Idea Game Changer, an initiative of the Innovation Television, Idea TV.